Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. You mean to tell me that a four-time Pro Bowler who's thrown for over 41,000 yards in his NFL career, you mean to tell me that guy can't find a job in the NFL? In a league where the vast majority of teams are desperate to find a serviceable quarterback. Notice, I did not say elite or great. Hell, in the modern NFL, teams aren't even setting the bar at good. They're just looking for a quarterback who is serviceable. In a league filled with teams that are desperate for a quarterback, you mean to tell me that not one team is interested in a four-time Pro Bowler? Not one team is interested in a quarterback that can get you to 500? On the surface, it doesn't make sense. To me, quarterback play is at an all-time low right now in the NFL. I mean, Sam Darnold just won the Super Bowl. The league is no longer filled with dudes who can throw for 5,000 yards in a season. So on the surface, this doesn't make any sense. But it makes complete sense when you find out that the quarterback 31 NFL teams are not interested in is Derek Carr. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the main channels in the description below. Since he announced last month that he was interested in coming out of retirement, the Saints have been reaching out to everyone, and I mean everyone, begging them to take Derek Carr. Problem is, they can't get anyone to answer the damn phone. Caller ID shows Derek Carr, and every general manager in the league sends the call to voicemail. The question is, why? I think Derek Carr was healthy enough to play by the middle of the season last year, but instead of calling him, the Colts, they called 45-year-old Phillip Rivers, who proceeded to get them bounced out of the playoffs. Now, why wouldn't they call a 34-year-old Derek Carr instead? Maybe, just maybe, every team in the NFL knows Derek Carr is the ultimate illusion. He looks really good on paper, plays well against bad defenses. If Derek Carr has plenty of time in the pocket, if he is surrounded by Pro Bowl receivers, if he's got a duo of running backs he can rely on to alleviate some of the pressure, if he's got an offensive line that remains healthy throughout the season, Derek Carr can be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Unfortunately, though, for Derek Carr, that situation does not exist. To make matters worse, even when he is surrounded by elite talent, even when Derek Carr is in a somewhat ideal situation, this dude is never there when it matters most. I remember the 2023 season, Derek Carr, first season in New Orleans. Now, going into the regular season, most of the fan base in New Orleans was willing to give him a chance. He had a brutal exit in Las Vegas. They couldn't wait to get rid of him. But once he got to New Orleans, even after all the mistakes that he made in the offseason, even after he claimed that his first meal in the city was Chipotle, in a city that is known worldwide for its food, even after he failed to embrace the city, going into the 2023 season, most Saints fans, we were willing to give Derek Carr a chance. But by the time we got to mid-October, the relationship was already headed for divorce. He was given the nickname the Emperor of Empty Yards because Derek Carr would put up 200 yards in the fourth quarter once the game was already out of reach. He was blaming his receivers, couldn't get along with Michael Thomas, couldn't get along with Chris Olave. Now, I know Michael Thomas could be difficult to get along with, but you gotta remember, this dude literally risked his NFL career to get Drew Brees another Super Bowl. Michael Thomas should not have been playing. It was either 2019 or 2020. I can't remember, but either way, Michael Thomas should not have been playing, but he risked his career and was never the same afterwards just to get Drew Brees another chance at the Super Bowl. And Derek Carr couldn't get along with that guy. 2024, Saints win first 2 games of the season in dominant fashion. Week 3 against the Eagles, their starting center, Eric McCoy, he's injured in first or second quarter. The entire offense, which was unstoppable for 2 weeks, it completely fell apart. Now, this was the moment where they needed leadership. This was the moment where they needed Derek Carr to put the team on his shoulders and beat an Eagles team that was desperately trying to give the game away. Saints were playing at home, and Derek Carr couldn't step up. Derek Carr couldn't do it. In the last week, the Dolphins have signed Malik Willis. Vikings signed Kyler Murray. Falcons picked up Tua. Hell, the Jets, they just went out and got Geno Smith. Geno Smith! On paper, none of these dudes are as good as Derek Carr. And in his defense, his unbelievably bad contract and the fact that you got to trade for him, that might be some of the reason that no one is interested. But I think the main reason is Derek Carr is not a leader. Derek Carr doesn't have the ability to elevate your team. Why would anyone be willing to pay $38 million for a quarterback whose ceiling is being just good enough to not make the playoffs? Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later on the main channel.